So in today's video it's time for a package from China, yes, because I've bought something pretty cool. Right, so it comes in this very basic brown box, nothing special to see. And as you could see, there is nothing inside, besides the HDMI cable. And do you know why? Because I already unpacked it, yes. So let's take a close look at the portable device one-up from our friends from China. It comes with this power supply and this universal adapters on it, because this is micro USB and we need to go to Type-C. Alright, so let's take a close look at the one-up Game Boy. So what do I think of this device? If you look at it, it looks pretty sexy. Yes, like my fellow YouTuber says, Retro Dodo. He also did a review about this thing, so I was very curious about it. And what are we going to get? So let's do a little bit of an overview and let's have some handheld fun. Alright, so let's talk about the controls of the device. We're having no D-pad because we have these 4 buttons. So I'm very curious how these are going to play. We're going to try it with some games. The analog stick feels like a very good quality joystick. And yeah, let's say a little bit compared with the PS Vita. We're having here 2 buttons. I'm guessing they mapped it to select and start. And we're having the 6th button. Very convenient if you want to play fighting games. Here we can find a 3.5-inch EPS screen and 2 speakers at the front. At the right side we're finding the shelf slot, so I'm very happy that they made this option. You can reach it very easily and very quick. And this is what we call the turbo button for the fan. So this thing makes quite some noise, but when putting it on turbo mode, oh yeah, like a freaking vacuum cleaner. Who came up with that? At the top we're finding the on and off switch. We're having here the connection for charging, and yes people, and headphone jack, a HDMI out and a volume control. And on this side we can see the Raspberry Pi, and 3 connections of the USB are available. One, as you can see, there is a wire that goes all the way up to the front and that connects the control board to the Raspberry Pi. And when powering on the device you can see we're having some LEDs over here that indicates the battery life. The battery life in total is 9000 milliamp. At the back we can see here the 9000 milliamp lithium battery. And here we have 4 extra buttons. But what I think is a really big problem is that you can see it a little bit in the, you can see it on the camera. You are having this problem with the button. So they messed it up by putting this thing together, and I can open it up. Yeah. And what you can see, they are using a little fan inside, and they used some small cooling elements on the Raspberry Pi. And this is what we call one big DIY nightmare if you need to put it together yourself. So look at this, how they put this together. And as you can see, the IPS screen is pretty bright and colorful. Has a resolution of 480 by 320 pixels. So what is really cool about the Raspberry Pi for the people who are new to the channel and of course the product itself, you can see it has a very wide range support of systems. Old school, arcade, you name it, even a lot of portable games you can play on this device. And it's, I would not say very easy, but you can basically swap the games if you have some knowledge about the Pi. But if you just want to pick it up, this is what you're going to get. I really like this layout. Alright, so shall we try some games and let's see how it's running on this device. I must say I love the LCD display. Very nice. And a lot of systems I have never seen or heard of. Alright, so let's talk about how comfortable is this device. If you're holding it, the first thing I'm noticing that the edges will, I will not say cut in your hand, but they don't feel very comfortable. So that is the first very bad thing about it. So when holding the device like this and try to play it in a comfortable way, of course, we don't all have the same measurements if it comes to our hands, but I'm having, say, big hands, and if you look at this, I can reach an analog stick, but playing with the D-pad, I need to force the device and holding it in different ways. If it's is it possible to play this for a very long time? I don't know. So it's not the best comfortable device to play. Alright, so shall we do a quick testing of the volume? I put the volume 100% in the Pi software itself. You can hear some interference from the speaker itself. They're quite loud. Alright, so let's play some games. Alright, so let's see how this plays. The analog stick is very responsive. It has some very short travel, so you really need to get used to this if you are used to a normal regular controller. Alright, so let's try the D-pad, or the 4 buttons that need to be in D-pad. Moving around, it feels quite nice. Alright, as you can see, it plays very smooth. Alright, let's try the analog stick. The analog stick is very responsive. I like it. Alright, let's try the D-pad. Fun fact, even adjust a couple of buttons because of the feel, the touch and the angle of the buttons. I like it. But again, it doesn't make up that it is not a D-pad at all. Still have this handicap. I cannot do this move. Why can here it is. Turbo fan. Everything is mapped correctly, so we can choose the analog stick or the 4 buttons. Great sound, I love it. Plays really smooth, no screen tearing or other weird stuff. This is by the way the loudest setting at the moment. Everything. And yes, seems to be running just fine. And I'm getting my ass kicked. And as you can see, it runs really smooth. Time for some Sega CD, Final Fight CD. Let's see how does it run. so let's see what happens when we're putting in the HDMI cable. Alright, so the screen goes out and the signal goes to the television. Alright. I did notice that it flickers. Oh, it came back. Okay, pretty convenient. Very cool. Alright, so it's a little bit weird. This is not normal, but there are the little things that we need to live with. The sound still comes from the system itself. So what is really cool about this, so if you're connecting some extra controllers, you can basically use this thing like a game system. Alright. Beside the point, my screen of the Pi Boy is still flickering. It works just fine. The one-up Raspberry Pi Game Boy handheld is an absolutely cool device to see. But when it comes to how comfortable it is, that is not great. Simply because of the edges, it's not very comfortable, and when you're looking at the clunky size, also that is not great. There is no really a D-pad, we're going to get 4 separate buttons. It's not a great situation here. The analog stick is okay, but when you're looking at the Raspberry Pi 4, that is something they just need to slap in a device like this and not the Pi 3, because the Pi 4 has so much more to offer. But I thank you for watching, consider subscribing, hit that little bell, let me know what you think of the device of this, and I want to see you in the next video.